Alright guys, welcome back to the channel today. Today we're going to talk about cleaning your car. What is the best way to keep your car looking like new? That is to wash it by hand, not the automatic car washes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some techniques, some tips that I've built up over the years that have worked for me. All of my cars really have looked like new for more than 100,000 miles. And it's very inexpensive. I don't use the most expensive stuff, but it works. There isn't just one right way to do it. There's a lot of people out there that have different techniques and use different things, one bucket, two buckets, foam cannons, things like that. There isn't just one way, but again, these are some things that have worked for me. It's inexpensive, easy to do, and it'll work for you too. The most basic, of course, obviously, need some access to water. And obviously a bucket. The next thing, car washing soap. You don't want to use Dawn dishwashing liquid or any dishwashing liquid because that can actually remove any wax you have on your car. It's great for getting grease off of dishes, but you don't want to use that on a car because there's no baked on grease on your car. Well, unless you're cleaning under the hood, but that's a totally different thing as well. The outside of your car is just dirty. I recommend just getting regular car washing soap that's made for washing cars. The next thing you're going to need, obviously, is a sponge. You could use a wash mitt. I use one of these sponges. They work out pretty well. And I have a whole collection of different sponges here for different purposes. So I have another one. As you can see, this one is kind of pretty well chewed up. What I do is I use an old one for the wheels because the wheels of your car are going to be the dirtiest area of the car, always. And there could be brake dust in addition to mud, dirt. There could be brake dust, and that may be difficult to remove from a sponge. You don't want to get brake dust on the paint of your car. So what I do is I use the new sponge on the body of the car. Every 6 weeks or so, 6 to 8 weeks, I'll get a new sponge and I'll rotate the one that was for the body of the car to use for the wheels and throw that old wheel one away. And so I end up using an old one for the wheels, a new one for the car. In addition, I have a small sponge. This used to be a kitchen sponge, just for the kitchen, around the kitchen, repurposed for cleaning small areas or narrow areas that is too small for a big sponge. And then there's this. This is really, really good. I highly recommend it. You can find it in the kitchen aisle, and it's really meant for cleaning tall glasses in your kitchen. It's a sponge, basically just a sponge on the end of a plastic handle. And this is excellent for cleaning the wheels, the insides of the wheels, wheel wells, anywhere where you don't want to get your hands up in there. This is excellent. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Alright, so that's pretty much all you need. We're going to fill the bucket with soapy water. And one thing that you want to remember to do always is start from the top of the car and work down. Do the roof, do the sides, go down because the dirty water is going to flow downward. Now when it comes to cleaning your wheels, what I do is I generally clean them after I clean the body of the car. And the reason is, some people like to do the wheels first, do them separately, and do it before you do the rest of the car. The reason why I think it's better to do it after you do the car is because if you have clean wheels and then you do the body of the car and all the dirty water runs down your car, it's going to run down your wheels and get your wheels dirty that you've just spent time cleaning. So that's why when I get started here, we're going to do the car first, and then we're going to do the wheels. Okay, We're going to stop right here for a moment. I just want to take a moment to say this is one area that a lot of people overlook. It's the area inside, underneath the trunk lid or the hatch lid. And this is outside of the weather stripping. And this can actually build up quite a bit of dirt from rainwater coming down through here, and especially up north. If you live up north and there's a lot of snow melting on your car, the melted water just comes through here and it sits there. And I've actually seen it where it can develop brown mold looking. So when you're washing your car, you want to clean this area here. It's very easy using the small sponge. Just give it a swipe, close the trunk or the hatch, and then hose off in these the cracks where the hatch is. Just wipe it like this. And of course, another thing is when you're cleaning the rear bumper, you want to remember to go underneath the rear bumper. That's also an area that a lot of people overlook. And that's it. That's all it takes. Well, now that you've finished washing the car, now you've got to dry it. Like I said earlier, if you have hard water, you want to dry it right away and not let the water dry on the paint. But we got to talk for a minute about what you're going to use and what not to use. This is an example of what not to use. This is a pretty typical bath towel. They are soft, but the ends have these decorative strips on the end, and these are hard. These are kind of rough. These can scratch the paint, as well as the stitching here along the edge. This can also scratch the paint. So you want to try to avoid using these bath towels. Instead, you want to use one of these, a towel made specifically for drying cars. It's microfiber. It's a microfiber car drying towel. And they have smaller ones as well, microfiber as well. One thing that I use, what I use first is this, and I just can't recommend this enough. This is called the Absorber, and this is an artificial chamois. As you can see, it's a chamois. And this will actually absorb a tremendous amount of water in this. It's incredible how much water it'll absorb. What I do, my strategy for drying the car is to go over the car first with this, then go over it with this. Now for the wheels, I don't want to use my good towel that I use on the clear coat paint on the wheels in case there's any brake dust or any dirt that somehow got missed. What I prefer to use is either an older towel, this does not have any stitching on it, or a microfiber, a small microfiber that I can use just for wheels, and I know this one is only for wheels. It's small, it can get into the small areas of the wheels. Maybe an older one like this I could use on wheel opening moldings or anything that may have some dirt on it, but we'll do the wheels later. So basically this, and you'll see how great this thing is at pulling water off the paint. Let's go. Okay, now the first thing you want to do when you first open one of these, when you first use it, is you want to make it damp. It's going to be hard, it's going to be stiff when you first take it out of the package or when it dries. So what I do is I lay it out, blast it with water. That makes it damp, and shake out the water, and now it's ready to absorb all the water from your paint. Let's go. Okay, check this out. This is just all the water only from the hood and the fenders and the windshield. That's a lot of water that it pulled off the paint. There we go. Another full load of water. Also, I need to mention quickly about hard water. Some of you may have hard water at your house or apartment. And you know, hard water is your city water supply that has a high mineral content like calcium and other minerals. And as you know from inside the house, hard water will leave stains on your dishes and your glasses and things like that. Well, if you have hard water outside, it's going to do the same thing on your car. It's going to leave stains on your car, water stains, if the water dries on your car. So I have hard water here, so I know all about that too well. The best thing is prevention, and that is get the water off your car as quickly as possible. Don't let it dry. Don't let the water dry on the car. So my strategy for that is to do the car first and then dry the car. Dry it off, dry the paint, the windows, dry it off, and then do the wheels, wash each wheel and dry each wheel separately. It's probably inevitable to get some amount of water spots, but the best thing to do is to prevent the majority of it. Also, don't wash your car in direct sunlight. The sun will dry the water faster and get those spots set into your paint faster, and if it builds up too much on the paint, it'll actually etch into the paint, into the clear coat, and you'll need to detail it, spend money or a lot of time doing it yourself, and a lot of detailing, polishing to get that stuff out of there. It's hard. It's hard work, money, time. Best is to prevent the water spots. If you know you have hard water, it takes a little bit more effort. All right. And now that we've done the chamois, now we can go over it with a microfiber and get it fully dry. Now comes the fun part, cleaning the wheels. So after you've done the rest of the body, you can tackle your wheels. Now, I don't use any special tire cleaners or anything on my tires. or special wheel cleaners. I do have tire cleaner that I use only once in a while when I've seen some brown marks on the tires. But normally, just your regular car wash soap will be good enough to clean the wheels and the wheel opening wheel housings. First thing you want to do is rinse off any loose dirt. And then just go to work on it with your secondary or your older sponge. And of course, an area that a lot of people overlook when doing it themselves is the wheel openings. Just takes a quick swipe to get them soaked up, and then you'll be able to rinse it off like that. Now, if your car has aluminum alloy wheels like this, you're going to want to clean the inside of the barrel because these parts are visible. On many wheels they're a light gray. This should be a light gray, unpainted aluminum. But on a lot of the newer cars, the design trend today is for painted wheels other than gray, like black. These have black painting with aluminum facings. Like I said before, this sponge is excellent for this job, as you can see. These handheld sponges are also good if you don't want to use a regular sponge for cleaning under here in your wheel openings. You can just swipe it like that and get it all soaked up. And that's basically what it takes. And then we just hose everything else off. And now that you've done one wheel, you can get your microfiber towels and you can dry off anything on the car body that you may have gotten a little wet. Got a little water right there. And then you can simply dry off each wheel one at a time. Again, I like to use a separate microfiber towel in case there's any residual brake dust that I didn't get. Looks like I got all of it today. And also, I don't recommend drying tires, particularly if you've used any tire dressing on the tires. When you wash it, you may get some blacky, greasy stuff coming off. So I don't recommend drying it because you'll get that on your microfiber and it'll just get dirty that way. You know, you can swipe your hand over it and see that your tires are clean. And as soon as you start driving, that water will just come right off. I also don't recommend that it's necessary to dry the inside of the wheel, the barrel. Again, the water will just come off naturally from in there. But there's no dirt. There's no brake dust in there. There's no dirt. I can swipe it. My hand is clean. I can put my hand in there. Tiny bit of dirt in there, you see, but for the most part, it's clean. I'm at the front wheel now. And you'll notice I've got the wheel turned all the way to the left. Why? Well, there's a good reason for that. If you turn the steering wheel all the way to one side or the other, you'll get extra room to get in there and clean the wheel openings. Makes it very convenient. You have a good bit of dirt buildup back there and on the wheel. Again, I don't really need to use a tire cleaner on this. It's mostly brake dust. If your car is a front-wheel drive, you will notice that the front tires and wheels will be dirtier because they have more brake dust. It's heavier in the front. There's more action going on up here in the front. But the Hyundai's brakes, factory brakes, are really pretty good about being low brake dust. But depending on what kind of brakes you have, certain cheaper brake pads may have more brake dust than others. Or if you don't wash your car very often, you'll have black wheels. So let's go ahead and get these cleaned up. Also, there's another advantage to turning the wheel outward. You can also have more access to use your long-handled sponge to clean the inside of the barrel from behind the wheel that you can't do if the wheels were straight, like this. All right. Looks pretty good to me. So I'm almost done with the car, and I'm sitting back here on the ground in the back of the car. I have one more important tip that I want to give to you guys, and this is mainly for those of you who have a direct injected engine in your car or truck. They're becoming more common today because they get much better gas mileage, but direct injected engines tend to leave a black soot, kind of like diesels in the old day used to do, except you won't see a cloud behind one of these cars. And if your car has these decorative metal or plastic exhaust tips, that black soot's going to get all over it. The one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to use a sponge or towel that you intend to use on anything else on your car, like the body of your car or the wheels, because it's going to get really dirty, and this stuff is pretty nasty, and it's really hard to get off. You'll probably have to wind up throwing it away. So when you're washing the car, you want to avoid cleaning the tips of these. You want to just go around it. And I'm going to show you the best way to clean decorative exhaust tips if you have a direct injected engine. Here it is. Just a regular old piece of paper toweling. You take your paper toweling and just dip it in some water, soapy water, clean water, either way works, and get it wet. Now watch how much soot I take off. This hasn't been cleaned for about 2 weeks. And notice how I'm just going along the edges. I'm not going actually inside the pipe. This is just along the edge of the metal. And as you can see that up on the camera there. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. And it's best to use something disposable that you can simply throw away when you're done. And like I said, just clean around the edge. You want to also make sure that you clean the bottom, because as you drive, the airflow is going to pull over time some of this black along right here, along the bottom. And it will make that part dirty. As you can see, I've got a lot of dirt there, so I'll fold it over and I'll just clean up the rest of the of these dual outlet exhausts tips, and there you have it. They're pretty clean, and this gets thrown away. So that's an important tip if you have a direct injected engine in your car. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. I'm done. That's all it takes to keep your car looking like new. Those are some tips that I use on a weekly basis. Of course, there is more that you can do. Polishing, waxing. I'm going to do another video on that at some point in time. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section, and like, subscribe, and hit your notifications so that you'll find out when the next video comes out. Till then, keep it clean.